I'm Michael Petkovic, and I decided to start a Substack channel a few weeks back because I really like writing about various topics that are of interest to me. And I've been doing a lot on LinkedIn, and I just found that wasn't really getting the traction that I'd hoped for. And that could be for various myriad of reasons. But I've been hearing a bit about Substack recently. So I thought I'd throw some stuff on there and see how it goes. And I just stumbled upon this podcast function, and it's something that I've been thinking about doing for a long time and encouraging guests to come on as you do with podcasts. But um, for some reason or other, they just kind of haven't happened. It hasn't happened yet. So I'm doing it on my own and seeing where it goes. And if guests want to come through this process, that's great. So this is just a short one today because it's a bit of a, hello message, introduction. Why am I doing all of this? So basically, I decided to do the Substack thing, and I've been on LinkedIn for quite a while. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've been living in Japan for 4 years now, and finding a regular job has been quite a challenge. I've had constant work throughout that time, but nothing really in the way of something that is able to sustain myself and my family. So, and with that, I get a lot of free time. So, with that free time, I always like to work. I like working on either myself or the stuff that I'm writing, coming up with posts, something that I've always done in my work life and outside of work. So I thought I may as well formalize some of the things that I like to talk about and build a little bit of loose structure around that. And the reason why I don't really have a full-time company salary job could be for a number of reasons, but I'm based in the countryside of Japan, and there's not a lot of work for somebody like me, even though I can speak Japanese to get me around and do what I need to do without any hassle. It's not enough to work at a business level. So that rules me out of a lot of company jobs that require native level Japanese here. And I don't live in Tokyo, and the commute to Tokyo is about 90 minutes by bullet train. And that could be quite a costly exercise to come and go from Fukushima city, where I live, every day, come home, spend 3 hours on the train every day, plus commuting to the office and working all day, coming home. It's not really the life that is conducive to having a happy family. And I think that would also come with a lot of stress. So not being in Tokyo rules me out for a lot of jobs, and finding remote jobs is quite challenging. I've applied for probably thousands of jobs now, and I've been knocked back for all of them. And there was a point where I used to think it was me, but I no longer think that, because I know that there are so many other people in similar situations to me that have either left corporate or decided to change their career trajectory, and looking for extra work has been really hard for them, including myself. So having all of this, knowledge and skill, and not being able to find work, you go through this range of emotions, which I've been through for the last 3 or 4 years. But I'm in a really good spot, and I know that what I need to do is just keep doing what I'm doing, because eventually something is going to happen. I'm going to get front of the right eyeballs. I'm going to meet the right person via online networking or in real life, and something's going to materialize into something that should for the right reasons. So, yeah, that's kind of that story. Um, and me and my family are weighing up the possibility of even going back to Australia, because if there's not really a great chance of me getting a salary work job or consultancy that's regular, kind of that kind of thing, it's probably easier for me to go home and slot back into the life that I had lived previously. Doing that is something that, again, I'm not really sure that I want to do, because I've grown so much as a person. I'm really happy being in Japan. I'm happy being the person that I am. And what I've learned so much that a corporate company job will never give you access to, because you've got to be resourceful. You've got to figure it out for yourself. So that requires a lot of learning and research and failing and implementing and failing and failing and failing and failing and getting up and getting knocked back and having a few wins, and then the well dries up. It's a range of emotions and a lack of security that builds strength, particularly in my case, I'm sure in other people's cases as well. So there's that on the table as well. But if possible, if I can make a life in Japan where I'm doing something that I enjoy work wise, that would be great. So some of the things that I am going to be talking about on Substack and potentially on this podcast over time is going to be around workplace well-being. Got a bit of lingering, I guess, I don't want to say trauma, but issues with working in the corporate world. There's just things that I fundamentally disagreed with, and I wasn't ready and willing to play the games that happen in workplace environments, big companies, where you can't really be the honest version of yourself, but they ask you to be that, but they don't really want that. That's kind of how I felt, because I always presented as myself. Um, I brought ideas to the table. I contributed. I was there when the work needed to be done. I supported other people, do all the things that you need to do as a team in a big organization. And I just don't really feel like I was recognized or rewarded in the way that reflected the work that I was doing. So apologies if you can hear the washing machine as well. As you can see, I live in a very small apartment. This is my kitchen, tiny Japanese apartment with my family. It's cozy, but it's very claustrophobic. Everything is in the same space. But yeah, so workplace well-being and looking at ways that can do that function better, because I think it can be done better. And I've got a postgraduate background in positive psychology, so that's the reason why I want to formalize a lot of this thinking that I've got. And I'm starting to stumble upon a few interesting things that I don't think have been talked about yet, maybe in great depth. So that's where I'm really going to focus my attention on in that world. So, and positive psychology more broadly, it's something that I'm interested in and I've gotten into a few years ago through my experiences of working in a corporate environment. And then I'm also academically a urban planner by certification. I don't have any work experience in that world, but it's another thing that I studied at university in my early 30s as a career change kind of approach. And I really love urban planning, not so much the physical, how big a house should be and where it should be located on the street, but more of that bigger picture thing. So, what should the neighborhood look like? How does it? How should the city contribute to creating an environment that allows people to stay and grow and invest their time into improving and enhancing the city and those types of things, and a lot of the interplay that goes on with that. So you've got council decision making, and you've got big businesses with money, you've got local residents, and you've got advocacy groups for the local residents, you've got advocacy groups for development, lobby groups, that type of stuff. So I'm interested in that kind of um, aspect of urban planning. It's what I wrote my thesis on, and just life in Japan in general, and the things that I've done to kind of live the life that I've got. So lots of different work experiences, meeting people. I don't think my life is unique in Japan, but I do have a probably a different life to somebody who is living in a larger city. My life is purely Japanese. I don't really interact or meet or have any foreign friends just by virtue of living in a regional area. So it's really good. I feel like I'm part of the fabric here. And it takes me into these little nooks and crannies in Japanese life that I don't think a lot of people get access to. And I'm super privileged by that. So, without going into too much detail about the specifics, I want to explain in general terms, some of the things that I've discovered and what I've learned and who I've done business with. So, while I've been here, and the work that I have done has largely been based in kind of advisory services. I've got a marketing background through working in banking and finance and communications, social media, that type of stuff. But one of the things that I find myself doing a lot is helping people to kind of rationalize their decision making about their business. And yes, part of that is marketing, but a lot of it is about making decisions around business and operations and rolling out certain projects within that. So rather than calling myself a marketer, which I've been doing for years, I kind of recently realized I took stock of my skills and did myself a skills audit because I've been looking for work. And rather than calling myself a marketer, I'm more of an advisor on growing a business and the operations side of growing a business. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing, and some of the work, some of the industries that I've been working in has been in agriculture, farming, and drift racing and motorsport tourism, and more broadly, attracting tourism into Fukushima with various travel companies in Japan and outside. And none of that is affiliated with Fukushima Prefecture or Fukushima City where I live. It's all just been through building relationships through things like LinkedIn and through living my life in Japan. So I find myself doing that, which kind of loosely aligns to the urban planning stuff. It's finding ways that circumnavigate getting city governments and prefectural governments involved, because I don't necessarily agree with the tactics and the strategy that the government here is looking to, for the future of these places. And the only way that I see forward is by people power, creating initiatives and creating networks and working around, working with policy and whatever we need to do to achieve the goals, but also trying to push boundaries in that, create cases for, going back to the government and explaining that, maybe this is a good way to um, get involved in supporting businesses and growing uh, cities by encouraging people to and supporting financially or with government, policy changes or those types of things, how to improve the cities. So at the moment, I'm working in that space as well. So yeah, so those are the things I'm going to be talking about. I'd love to get some guests on, so it's not always me talking about stuff that is interesting to me. I don't want to always hear the sound of my voice. I'd love to hear and contribute to asking questions from people that I know through places like LinkedIn, and maybe some of the people I know in Fukushima. Maybe I'll try it in Japanese, even though my Japanese is, I'm a little bit self conscious about doing that. But hey, I have lived a life that I've got so far without speaking English. So, and I can communicate my way through pretty much every situation I'm in. So let's see how it goes. Maybe that's on the cards as well. So, yeah, stay tuned for more. I feel like I've said everything that I want to today. So I'll leave you with that. And if you're interested in following along or subscribing, please do so. I don't really know about this Substack, how it works. If I can upload it on YouTube, I might do that as well and run both. But yeah, until the next one, have a good day, and I hope everyone is well. Cheers.